Good morning. Good morning. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. It is Technique Tuesday. And today I'm going to share some envelope techniques, 3 different envelope techniques for decorating and spicing up your envelopes. Hey, Tammy. Woohoo, you made it live. So we are going to get started. So the first thing that I'm going to share with you is I am using the basic white medium envelopes. I love these. They're my favorite. They're my go-to. And that is what I use for mailing out my cards. So I'm going to use, for our first technique, envelope technique, the Hugs for Love stamp set. And I love this heart here. So that is what I am going to use. I'm going to bring in a piece of grid paper here and one of my envelopes. And so I'm going to open this up. So I have the flap open. And I'm going to use some Melon Mambo ink. And the first technique is stamping your envelope. So this might be obvious, but I thought I would add it to today so that you could see how I do it. So I love when the flap is decorated and maybe not the entire envelope. So I'm just stamping these hearts all along this flap here. And so you can see once stamped, when you stamp it open like that, you only see half of it, right? And then to get the top, I just kind of close it up and do the same thing and let my stamp just stamp off of the top. So it almost looks like it was printed that way, right? And then if you do want to add a little bit of stamping to the front, I like to stamp the left side so it doesn't interfere with any of the addressing or the stamp or any of that. So technique number 1, stamping your envelope and stamping the flap. Hey Leah, good morning. All right, for technique number 2, I'm gonna bring in my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine here. And I am going to be using the new embossing folder that's part of Celebration, which is the Star Struck embossing folder. So for technique number 2 with our envelopes, I love to emboss the flap of the envelope. So for this, we're just going to take our plates number 3. We're going to take our envelope here. And what I love to do is put the envelope flap in the middle of my embossing folder, so the back part is hanging out, right? And then I just fold it underneath my embossing folder, put it through those 2 plates, run it through my embossing folder here, or run it through my machine here, and it will come out the other side. Let me move this out of the way so that you can see. I'll just take this out of my plates here. We've got our embossing folder. We'll open it up, take out our flap, and then just the flap. Hey, Carla, good morning. Just the flap is embossed with that fun image. So it gives it texture. Good morning, Avril. Gives it lots of texture, right? And it's only on the flap, so it'll still go through the post office, right? It won't like trip up their machines or anything. And now your envelope flap has that beautiful design. You could add some ink to this if you wanted to with maybe your blending brushes or sponge daubers. But I think it looks so elegant when a white envelope just has some embossing folder texture. So that is number 2 technique for our envelopes today. And then technique number 3 here is using designer series paper. So I am using this fruit salad paper. Isn't it just fun? I love this fruit salad paper. And then it's got some basics on the back. So here's one of those. I've already pre-cut it to save us a bit of time, but it's just, this paper is 6 by 6. And so I've just cut it down to 2.5 by 6, 2.5 by 6. Now you could do 2 1/4 but it's very tight. So I like to do 2.5 to just give myself some extra room. So for this, I'm gonna bring in my liquid glue, and I am just gonna add my liquid glue, my green glue, all around the flap. So you wanna make sure you get all the way to the edge there, and in the middle, of course. And then we're going to take our 2.5 by 6 piece of designer series paper. We're gonna put that all the way up to the edge. If you're not certain, you can kind of push it against your table. I like to hold it there a second. Make sure it gets good and secured. Good morning, Kathy. And then I just take my paper snips, turn this over, and I'm just gonna go all along the edge here with my snips. And this is just gonna give our envelope flap that decorative designer series paper, right? So now you have like a beautiful stationery set. So if we used this on our card, and now our envelope will match perfectly. So those are our 3 quick envelope techniques to just kind of give your envelopes some pizzazz, right? Whether you're stamping on them, embossing them, or using designer series paper on them, your recipients are going to be so wowed when they receive your personalized handmade stationery with matching envelopes. So that is your quick Technique Tuesday tips for today. Hope you enjoyed them. If you missed any of our previous Technique Tuesdays, you can check them out on my blog at stampinqueenbee.com or on my YouTube playlist for Technique Tuesday, and that's at Stampin' Queen Bee on YouTube. Have a great day, everyone, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.